After 3 hours,
It'll
it can change again.
Yeah, because I
And
know
we'll see the
last time we
wind.
came, the wind, but we were, I guess, early.
It's like
Right,
that.
because when me and
Like
Remy
that.
came, we came earlier.
Yeah, definitely. It depends on the season. And within the same day, it can change, it can take many forms.
Many forms?
Yeah. You can see the water come to the, to the borders. It
Right.
can even, it can even come here where the heart is over there.
Really?
Yeah, the water can come there.
Oh, wow.
Within the same day.
Because I know sometimes when I'm over here, the water just looks too rough. The majority of the time, like that water just seems like it's not safe to step foot in. Like it's gonna sweep me away and take me back to America.
It depends on the moment. It depends on the moment. Sometimes you can sleep there. People sleep on the riverside. I mean, on the banks of the sea. Till tomorrow, they will go back home. But sometimes you cannot because the water will come over the land and chase you. That's what happens.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Richard. Since we're at the point of no return, the last, I'm not even going to say resting spot, but the last place that the slaves came to before they were shipped to the New World. Do you think Africa has fully recovered from the slave trade?
That is impossible. You know, lost time is lost. We can't do anything. The only thing we can do is to try to catch up, but we cannot totally catch up. So what happened to Africa is a great damage, and if we are still at this level of development, we have to recognize that slave trade has a great part of its contribution inside here. That's what happened.
Why do you think, I don't know, I just feel as if some African countries are slow to truly recognize the impact that the slave trade has had on his country, as if it didn't fully affect them. Why is it taking so long to recognize that the the negative impact the slave trade has had on African countries?
No, please take the question again, please.
Okay. I feel as if African nations do not want to admit the negative impact the slave trade has had on their countries. Do you feel that way?
No, I don't think so. You know, nobody can.
I mean, they'll speak on colonialism, but they won't speak on slavery.
Oh, I understand. But we talked about that. You know, the problem is that in our educational system, they do not focus on what touches Africa. Normally, at younger age, students should be taught about slave trade, colonialism, and everything. But even colonialism, they focus very less. It is because colonialism is still going on that people talk much about that. Otherwise, slave trade and all those things people talk about, but especially those who are fighting for our values, those who are Pan-Africanist.
Right.
That's the real problem. Because our mentality has been washed. I don't know how to say. With colonialism, they succeeded in changing our mind somehow.
Right.
And people think like Europeans. They think that Europeans, they have the best knowledge, they have the best culture. Everything is good when it is from Europe or from America. So otherwise, those who are working for Pan-Africanism, they always talk about slave trade. So it's just because people are not taught.
Well, the government is real quiet on it, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
No, the problem is that governments, the leaders know well about the thing, and they know that no European countries are ready to help Africa move. We have to decide. But just because of their selfishness, they do not want to take the right decision. And when you want to take the decision and you are alone, it is dangerous. You will die. That will kill you. That's the real problem. We need a mental revolution, and this will be a common fight. A single president cannot stand up and say that we're going to fight against this, we're going to change everything. No, they know that this thing has done bad things to us, has great impact on our development, but to change things, they are still touched. That's the real problem.
Yeah, so we're at the point of no return in Ouida, Benin. This is actually my third time coming here. This is where the Voodoo Festival will be held January 10th. So, you know, I'm going to be documenting and shooting, and my brother Richard's going to be showing me around. So, hope you guys enjoy the content. Wow. I can only imagine what our ancestors went through on that voyage to the New World.
Those who work on the architecture of this, their names.
Okay.
The participants, people who make the architecture.
Here, Richard, what does this symbolize? Do you know?
No. I can just say a king there. Okay, and I can see the white European ship.
Right.
And then I can see some slaves.
Okay.
So it may be what is being said here is that the king is selling some slaves to Europeans.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we can see here.
Do the kings, or like the descendants of the kings, ever express regret for the role they played in the slave trade?
Yeah, you know that kingdom has never been the way it used to be before colonialism.
Right.
So even today saying that we have kings, it is difficult. After the defeat against the French, you know, anyway, when we listen them speak, they regret.
They regret it?
They regret. And I would like you not to confuse something. Most people used to confuse Vodun chiefs or priests with kings.
Correct. They're not. Yes.
Nothing,
correct.
No comparison. They have nothing common as far as slave trade is concerned.
They might have practiced voodoo, but they weren't voodoo chiefs.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's the real problem. So the kings are there and control the whole city. So they are the one who decide. And even the slaves they sold, they are captives of tribal wars.
So, then last question. Yeah. Why would they sell black slaves to people that didn't look like them? Why do you think in the king's mind it would be okay to sell African captives to white people? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
What I was taught when I was at school, what I was taught is that when the white men came here first, it was an idea of bringing some Africans, because they came with some articles, mirrors, wrappers, pipes, things like that. And in the mind of the first king, it was like bringing some Africans to learn how to produce those things. That's what I was taught.
Okay, so the kings thought they were going to Europe to learn how to learn it and then bring it back.
Those things, yeah. But Africans were reluctant. They were reluctant to follow white people to leave their family. So the king was obliged to force people. That's what the first. But with the time, people realized that, that was not the real issue. But, within king, it is almost everywhere, jealousy and things, because you know that they will not say that, these things, as he has more relationship with the Europeans, he has some articles, some, wealth, he has riches, and so his condition is better. Then, what happens? Among themselves, there are some tribal wars. But the slaves were not treated the way they have been treated during slave trade. Okay. Because as slave, you can own land, you can own family. But the only problem is that your king has no longer power on you. You are under another king.
Wow.
You see?
I understand, clearly understand. So they didn't experience the conditions that we experienced on the plantation in America.
No, that's not the fault. That's not what happened. So that's what I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.